Hello everyone, welcome to WrestleMom's Basement. I'm Joe, not Pat, was going to say. And to my left is Pat, not Joe. That's what I was going to say. This is Pat's punishment review for losing a tough fight. If you would just pick somebody in the Battle Royal, we would both have been doing a punishment review tonight.
Yes.
About us, the true champ prevails again. Because I am amazing. I did media, and they said I didn't think I was going to lose. And when I did media for the 1-0, I did not lose. So here's past punch review. 25 years ago, in 22 days. It will be 25-year anniversary of this. But we're about to come up. King of the Ring 1996.
WWF King of the Ring 1996 happened on June 23rd, 1996 at the Mecca Arena in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Attendance was 8,762.
That's it.
Thanks to Kevin Pantoja for me stealing his review. I'll read his intro here. Here we have one of the most historic pay-per-views in the history of WWE. On this night, the infamous Austin 316 was uttered, and Stone Cold Steve Austin became a star. This also marked the final WWE appearance for the Ultimate Warrior, as his failure of a 1996 run will end shortly after this. The WWF was about to face a really tough time as the formation of the NWO was on their horizon, and the WWF would start to take a pounding in the ratings war. That's rather iconic since this show ignited the fuse that launched Austin, who became the star that would help him beat WCW. This is the 4th ever King of the Ring pay-per-view. The World Wrestling Federation, for over 50 years of revolutionary force in sports entertainment. That brings me back to my childhood, as do I. The 4 King of the Ring semifinalists, as well as the rest of the card, are highlighted in the opening video package. They also hype it up as the greatest King of the Ring card ever. Sure. Actually, I think
wasn't the two?
I think they went farther and said one of the best WWF cards ever.
No.
Yeah.
I'm done with.
Yeah.
No, not one, and might be at this point the greatest King of the Ring. Though the first one might be a little better.
Yeah.
But it's definitely better than 94, 95.
Owen Hart comes out to join Vince McMahon and Jim Ross for commentary. Alright, so first match. King of the Ring semifinals, Steve Austin versus Mark Marrow with Sable. Austin defeated Bob Holly and Savio Vega to advance here. Marrow beat Skip and Owen Hart. Owen hilariously says that Marrow held his tights and blamed his post-match attack on Marrow on him slipping off the apron. They worked the match, jockeying for position. Austin was a stud before his neck injury. Marrow's speed advantage swings the momentum. To combat this, Austin takes a few breathers and stalls Marrow's momentum. Austin gets in some cheap shots and sends Marrow to the outside. He does one of my favorite spots when he moves the protective mat outside for a quick press slam. We continue to see a lot of Austin's repertoire when he applies a Boston Crab to wear down the back more. Marrow gets some flash pins before eating a stunner variation. Austin's lips is bleeding pretty badly. Marrow really brought his working boots, hitting a somersault plancha and suicide dive. He gets 2 off the top rope Rana, and the crowd is in a frenzy right now. Austin comes back with an alley-oop version of the stun gun for a near fall. He then nails the stunner, complete with a ridiculous sell by Marrow, to hand Marrow his first defeat in the WWF. This was actually much better than I thought it was going to be. I know Austin's capable of this quality of match, but I wasn't always sure about Marrow. It generally relies on who's across the ring and how he feels, really. Some of his best matches are really interesting, but it felt like he was up to the task for Austin here, and don't let anyone fool you either. Austin was actually a very good pure like wrestler at some point before he got the knee braces and just started stomping mud holes in people. Really good match here, B. Jake Roberts is interviewed about his upcoming match and is way into the Revelation stuff. It never quite clicked for me. King of the Ring semifinals. Jake Roberts versus Vader with Jim Cornette. Vader advanced after beating Ahmed Johnson and via bye, while Jake beat Triple H and Justin Hawk Bradshaw. Vince says Jake is 41, but Owen claims he's either 51 or 61. It's probably just Owen being a heel. However, it's also funny to think how Jake is considered an old man here at 41, when in current days you're entering your prime.
Yeah.
Vader's power is way too much for old Jake from the get-go. Vader blocks the DDT and pummels him into the corner. He misses a corner splash leading to the DDT. The ref gets hit on the hold and immediately calls for the DQ. Vader actually grabs him and he goes down with them. That's why the ref called the DQ.
Oh.
It wasn't necessarily the best looking spot either. But yeah, that was literally the description of the match. It wasn't very long. And even after the match, it's probably more of a bigger story of just Vader dominating Jake and injuring him to set up will the babyface win the finals. It wasn't much of a match, but it's not bad setup. C-. And the network gives us the Coliseum exclusive where Vader freaks out backstage. WWF Tag Team Championships, the Smoking Guns, who are the champions with Sonny, versus the Godwins with Hillbilly Jim. Man, the tag division was in shambles here. Doc Hendricks interviews Sonny beforehand about the body down his new manager, Cloudy, who was a dude in drag playing the new Sonny. Billy stumbles through the promo because he's Billy Gunn and he's horrible at that. That's the one weakness to his game, really. The cameraman almost reaches New Japan Maria Kanellis levels with zooming in on Sonny's assets. To be fair, that was probably the best part of the match. So he's just literally giving us our money's worth because this match sure isn't. The storyline here is that Phineas has a thing for Sonny, but she's with the Guns and he's jealous. Phineas goes into a few fits during the match, but mostly ignores Sonny's attempts to flirt with him. The Guns could take control after a cheap shot and work over Henry. Usually Henry was the hot tag guy since Dennis Knight is awful, but I guess it works here since Phineas was the main part of the angle. Billy hits a Famouser before it was Famouser 2. The champions use a bunch of basic heel tactics until Phineas gets the tag and the Goblins kick ass. They aren't too bright though, as Bart takes off his boot and hits Phineas, leading to the win. Literally the description of the match he gives is short but to the point. This match was boring. This was in fact boring. It wasn't good. There was really nothing great about it, and literally the best part of it was Sonny being in her prime at this point. I gave it a D. Doc Hendricks interviews the British Bulldog, Jim Cornette, and Clarence Manson about the main event. Doc suspects collusion because the special referee from the main event, Mr. Perfect, is in their locker room. Bulldog's promo sucks. The Ultimate Warrior versus Jerry Lawler is next. Lawler comes out and spends a ton of time just running down fans. He pretty much picks a bunch of people in the front row and annihilates them. Warrior's entrance feels very overreduced here with all the pyro. Lawler attacks during Warrior's entrance with a scepter he took from the King of the Ring crowning area. He chokes Warrior and brings out a bunch of underhanded tactics. Lawler hits the pile driver, but Warrior immediately pops back up. Warrior does his typical comeback and wins handily. Yeah, that probably should have been the way it went, but it's not really all that good either. Lawler building up the heat with insulting the fans at ringside was pretty fun. And I guess to take some length, adding some length to it, I guess he should have taken the scepter, but yeah, Warrior should have literally just ran over him. D+. Up next, Mankind versus The Undertaker with Paul Bearer. Since his debut the night after WrestleMania, Mankind has made The Undertaker's life hell. He's laid him out 3 times with the mandible claw as well. Taker doesn't come out with Bearer, instead showing up and leaping from the top onto Mankind. Regardless, Mankind takes control and continues to have Taker's number. Jim Ross does a good job putting that over and really talking about how much force Mankind's mandible claw is. Mankind does the Cactus Jack elbow, but ends up taking a backdrop onto a chair. Taker uses the chair behind the referee's back, really showing his desperation to turn things around. Mankind escapes the tombstone and gets back on offense. Taker, blocking the mandible claw, gets a great pop from the crowd. Undertaker takes a rough steel chair bump before getting a chair up on Mankind. Getting a chair up on a Mankind apron leap. He also just levels him with one big chair shot to the skull. Strange to see those, considering I've grown up used to unprotected chair shots. Back inside, Mankind hits a pulling pile driver and starts pulling his hair out. Foley nailed every mannerism of the character. He applies the mandible claw again and Bearer is on the apron. Taker fights it but accidentally gets hit with the urn. Mankind reapplies it and Taker passes out. They would go on to have one hell of a rivalry. Probably one of my favorite ones from this time period. From this match all the way up to their Hell in a Cell 2 years later, because it happened at King of the Ring. And it was also really the first really interesting storyline that The Undertaker had, even though being in the company for about 5 years at this point. Mankind was able to bring that out of him, and Taker was also able to build up Mankind as a threat. While this may not be the best of their series, it's a good first step for the rivalry. I gave it a B. In the back, Shawn Michaels comes up to Mr. Perfect to tell him make good on his name and referee a perfect match. Nobody seems to believe that Perfect will do that. WWF Intercontinental Championship, Ahmed Johnson versus Goldbus, who is the champion, with Marlena. Goldust' character clicked so well in this era because he was so different. Last month, Ahmed Johnson was knocked out on the stretcher, and Goldust took to mouth to wake him up, freaking out the homophobic Ahmed. Ahmed bursts out of the entrance and knocks over a doorman in a moment. That has become a popular GIF. Ahmed spends the first minutes just kicking Goldust's ass. Thanks to Marlena's distraction, Goldust slams the steel onto Ahmed. This is where we get the Goldust head segment, and at this point in his career, those were very dull. Come to think of it, his work was better as a face, though he does draw a lot of heat by fondling Ahmed. He goes all out, no pun intended, with rubbing, licking, and does mouth to mouth again, causing Ahmed to explode. Not the way he wanted, though. Ahmed gets his flurry in and becomes champion with a Pearl River plunge. That description was more on the shorter side of the match, because this ended up being about 15 minutes.
Was there a lot stalled too? In what I remember, yeah.
However, there's a reason for all the stalling, because besides that, the aforementioned split open lip from Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin literally went to the emergency room.
Okay.
I'm guessing it because it makes perfect sense.
Oh.
And this was almost a 3-hour show. It was like 2:50.
Oh yeah.
2 hours and 50 minutes.
Oh yeah. Good point.
So it ran a little bit long, but they're stalling for Austin to get back. This match being the one you choose to it be the stalling match is a choice, because Ahmed Goldust as this character isn't necessarily all that good in the ring and can hold your attention for a long period of time. Or you could have done that without no Taker and Mankind the match before, but I digress. It probably went as bad as well as you'd expect it to. It wasn't really all that interesting, and this match literally got hurt by the fact that it had to be the match that had to waste time, so they got Austin back into the building so he can do the next match. Where otherwise this match should have been maybe a handful of minutes. Goldust gets the advantage, kisses him. Johnson explodes on him and Pearl River plunge, and then go home. But this ended up being more drawn out because of that. I gave it a D+. Ahmed Johnson gets a champagne celebration in the back and with mostly jobbers, but Shawn Michaels hugs him as well. Recently signed Brian Pillman, who appeared in WCW and ECW and now WWF, all within 6 months. Actually, almost with all in the same week, by the way. Comes to ringside for the interview with Jim Ross. He is nuts and claims that Jeffrey Dahmer should have eaten this entire state. Wow. He's going to rape, pillage, and plunder the WWF. In a moment that probably sent pure wrestling fans absolutely nuts, Austin's entrance only happens when Brian Pillman's walking back and they stop and stare at each other for about a moment. King of the Ring Finals, Steve Austin versus Jake Roberts. Roberts drags the snake bag since he's too beat up to carry it. Vince puts over his heart after being 41 and still competing after earlier. Austin goes right after the ribs. Austin just beats the out of Jake to the point where Gorilla Monsoon has to come out and decide if he wants to stop the match. Jake declines and fights, but falls to the center shortly afterwards. It's probably the best way to do this match after what was set up. And Austin looked like a dominant heel here. However, this match is going to be more of the side note about what happens afterwards. And since it's part of that setup, that I can't give it any lower than like a C level. C-.
But that's not the important part.
Yeah. The more important part. The history-making moment comes now as Doc Hendricks interviews the winner near the throne. The first thing I want to be done is to get all that piece of crap out of my ring. They'll just get him out of my ring, get him out of the WWF, because I've proved without a shadow of a doubt you ain't got what it takes anymore. you sit there and thump your Bible and say your prayers, and it didn't get you anywhere. Talk about Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, "I just whipped your ass." And with that, a star was born. Here we go, main event time, WWF Championship. Shawn Michaels, who is the champion with Jose Lothario, versus the British Bulldog, who is with his wife Diana Smith, and Jim Cornette. A month earlier, these two met in a match that ended in controversy, leading to a rematch with Mr. Perfect as the guest official. Monsoon makes a decision to not only have Perfect outside, with Earl Hebner handling the in-ring duties. Owen just goes full asshole in commentary, running down Michaels every chance, and it's great. Shawn skins the cat after taking Bulldog over and out before whipping Cornette with the racket. The crowd goes unglued for that entire sequence. Owen is quick to remind everyone of that kick that nearly ended Shawn's career last year. After Shawn works the mat for a while, Bulldog press slams him backwards to the outside. Vince complains about that being intentional, like it's early 90s WCW, and that over the top means a DQ or something. Yeah, that was actually kind of weird. Bulldog also hits a suplex on the outside before press slamming him back inside. Now it's Bulldog's turn to wear down the champion with chin locks and such. Bulldog makes a key mistake by going up top and badly whiffing on diving headbutts. On flying headbutts. Shawn goes up, but Bulldog hits a big drop kick to stop him and follows with a sick release junior suplex. Shawn again tries to rally with a Rana, but Bulldog busts out a sweet sit-out powerbomb for 2. Bulldog really brought his A game here. Shawn finally rallies and hits sweet chin music. Mr. Perfect comes in to count with the actual referee for some reason. Owen pulls off Perfect, but the referee still counts 3, and that's all. Minus that weird bit of booking at the end with Perfect sliding in the ring to count the 3, and then Owen still pulling him out, even though there's another ref in the ring anyway. It is a little wonky, but the rest of the match was a solid piece of work here. Bulldog doesn't always bring his work and cheese, but if it's usually Brett or Shawn, he's usually up to the task for both guys. And Shawn was literally just on a roll of strong championship matches at this point in his career. Good match from both men. My match of the night, A-. Owen Hart attacks and get put in the figure 4. Bulldog tries to help, but Shawn pulls him into an inside cradle for no reason since the match is over. Owen and Bulldog continue the beatdown until Ahmed runs out and to make the save. It's Vader time. Vader destroys Ahmed while Owen puts the boost to Shawn. Vader goes up top to hit the big splash, but Warrior charges out to make the save. This was supposed to set up Ahmed, HBK, and Warrior against Camp Cornette at the next pay-per-view, but Warrior would be gone by then and Sid would replace him. Overall, I'm going to give the show a B. There were strong parts of this card and very historic moments to this card. But there's also very weak parts of this show, and it wasn't always great to sit through to get to the great parts either. But overall, it's definitely a show worth watching, and I do recommend for matches Austin and Marrow, Shawn and Bulldog, Taker and Mankind. I even recommend Snake and Austin and include the promo afterwards to get yourself a little bit more of a historic feel there.
So that'll do for this. We'll be back for no one of these down wobble what happens just for in your house.
I thought we were just whoever was doing. I thought we were just waiting after.
That's when the announcement is going to be down wobble.
Why?
because we watch in your house down Wobbled.
We'll be watching in your house in a motel, though.
So we could film the video that night.
Okay.
Outside on the deck if we have to control Wi-Fi reception. It's in the beginning of summer. People want to be out. It's very high clubs here.
Oh yeah, that club city of Wildwood, New Jersey.
There's a lot of clubs. I know a few. But we always film the videos when we're away.
Not always, actually.
I have a phone full.
The last time we were in Brooklyn, we didn't film any videos.
For WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
I have a phone full of them.
We did not film one video in that hotel room.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
Well, not that one, because we were on the same bed. That was fun.
Yeah.
That's why. Because we slept in the same bed.
But I don't think we did one the year before that one either.
Yeah, for the SummerSlam we did.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, we did.
We were in that corner room, right?
Wait, was that the one where I brought the TV?
Yeah. I don't think we did videos for that one then.
The one where I brought the TV?
I think there was only one year we actually tried.
He wants to go on vacation and be lazy. So,
you know, like you do on vacation.
Right, and now...
We'll try to give you the review for In Your House.
You did it in your...
But you're not going to get the punishment review until...
If I lose, I'll be willingly take the loss, because I'll give it to you then. Down there. I'll willingly take the loss. I have plenty of time on my hands down there.
You do?
Yeah, apparently on vacation we have an itinerary.
We're not allowed a vacation?
Oh, so you are not important. You are considered work.
No,
You are considered work. So that'll do it all for me then. And I guess I'll be back on Friday, maybe with some special guests for. Hold on.
Did it make you guys seasick? Because I think it just made you guys
for
seasick.
the Survivor Series 2016 retro review that I guess I will be doing, because I don't consider this a job apparently that I need a vacation from. You could say the Wi-Fi may be shitty. You could at least say that, to be honest. But you're making it sound like they're sure. So...
No, but I'm saying we're allowed a little leave of absence to make the heart grow fonder.
Yo, I don't have
Give us a rest. Give you guys a rest.
I don't need a rest. I'm go. You know me by now. I'm the hardest working man in the business, so I'm promises. Alright. But not in the wrestling business, but in the Amazon Fire tablet YouTube business. Out of everybody that has Amazon Fires. That's all I make. So, well, you people getting fancy, smancy, expensive iPads, I take my cheap little Amazon tablet. That don't have a lot of apps on it that you need. Would you believe I can't download the cock on here? But
you may want to explain that one a little better.
But on my phone, I could have the peacock.
There you go.
But would you believe I can't download the cock?
On the cock.
You think they would have the cock?
I know.
Like,
that's probably a much different streaming service than I think you're thinking of.
No, peacock.
The peacock.
Oh yes. But so you will not be getting a review that week because I make an executive decision that we need a vacation. So the last 5 minutes of this video are a complete waste of your time that you will not see.
Yes.
Because it will be AI.
Yeah.
I'm sure that.
We don't plan before our videos. We plan during our videos.
Because that's means.
And we talk back and forth. We bring you in on the planning process.
Because it's more realistic. That way. If we look professional, that means people won't work with us. And we don't want that.
No, that's too much work.
Apparently.
That would be work.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
There's something I wanted to say, but that was probably all fair. I should.
Well, you might as well say because we make plans on air, so.
Okay, how the hell did our last 2 videos do like almost 70-something views?
Oh wow.
Not each, probably like come on, that's wild. I don't think we ever had that back to back.
Yeah.
See, I finally learned how to tag, so I think this may be helping. Because I just realized tags are keywords that people might search. So this might be helping.
Yeah.
This like swing to 10 views now.
If you've been with us, thank you so much.
Right.
You guys are saints, or whatever. Like,
they're not Jesus now.
Yeah.
Calm down.
You guys.
We'll be back on Friday with Star Series 2016, and on Monday with the weekly show reviews.
Special place in my heart for you guys.
And then down the shore, nothing, because you are not worth it. These are scum of the earth.
I don't think they want to see us in our swimming trunks.
Who else watching in your head? Who else filming a swimming trunk? Oh wait, it will be like 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Oh yeah. Alright, so we'll be doing that when we come back. The following week, we'll have a whole blog.
I mean, we can film that one. We can film the review.
Right.
And the prediction we do the day before.
Yeah, or the day after, if you want fun. Here we are doing a long blue standing outside our hotel room. And these are my predictions, because we gotta give Isaiah time to get his predictions in.
Well, we can put ours in. And Isaiah can have until
the show.
The show, yeah.
But that's not fair to him, because they depend on his predictions. They're the ones they're most excited about. They don't care about our predictions. But yeah, 170
Yeah, you know, the disembodied predictions.
They're not disembodied. I think they're very full out. Well, mine are full out. You just say who you think's going to win. I give a background of each match and a detailed history. And Isaiah just had... I'm Isaiah's ventriloquist puppet, apparently. So yeah, it's a very disembodied.
Yeah.
So I might need time to write out my prediction. So, alright, the morning before we leave, we can do it. That's fair.
We're going to be rushing around with our bags, putting them into a car.
My aunt lives like 5 hours away. By the time she comes...
Your aunt lives like a half hour away.
Yeah, but she's not coming till like 10.
There's been plenty of drives where I came from close to your aunt's back to my house and up to your...
Alright, how about
around that area.
Close the video out and do some editing in the video.
Yes.
So nobody will know what we're talking about because they won't see that part.
Hopefully they'll just see a giant jump cut.
Yes. And I know how to do that. There's a part where they show it.
Yeah.
We can edit and delete. Yeah, that part I know how to do. I just found what time's up. So, see you then. See you Friday. What Sergeant Twice.
See you then.